It's me, Nick Hausman with Wrestling Inc. I'm here with Doudrop, WWE Superstar at Royal Rumble Media Row. And Doudrop, thank you so much for taking the time today.
Thank you for having me.
So easily the biggest opportunity of your career coming up.
So far.
So far. But man, this is a huge opportunity. You're going to take on Becky Lynch at the Royal Rumble. Just where's your head at right now, just going into this really big opportunity?
So I'll be honest, I had to do a lot of mindset work this week, because I think a lot of people forget that how quickly this is all happening for me. 7 months ago, I was just a pretty regular person sitting at home in Scotland, and fast forward 7 months, I'm now facing the biggest star in the company in one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year. It's such a huge stadium and challenging for the Raw Women's Championship. That's a big change to get used to, and it's a lot to get your head around, and it's a lot to not get in your own head and psych yourself out and shy away from the challenge. And so I had to do a lot of work this week, making sure I'm in the right frame of mind. And at first when the match got announced, I was very, very nervous. I'm quite an anxious person at times, but I started to try and change my perception and stop viewing it as an obstacle and start viewing it as an opportunity. Sure. and realize no, this I'm in this position because this is where I'm supposed to be, and I'm talented and I'm hardworking, it's where I deserve to be, and this is my opportunity to showcase all of those things.
Is there anybody you're going to for advice right now about how to play at this level, right? I mean, this is very different, what you're going through right now.
Yeah, so I actually have a life coach. Her name's Erica Faye. She's a life coach for athletes, and she does a lot of work. She helps a lot of big athletes get ready for big games. Okay. And so honestly, she has changed my life, to be totally honest. So if you guys need a good life coach in your life, check out Erica Faye.
Okay, fair enough. And so, yeah, you're going to this match with Becky Lynch. Usually fans, they like to know who to hate. They like to know who to cheer. It's an interesting dynamic with you and Becky. People don't seem to like you. People don't seem to like her. Yeah. So what do you expect the fan reaction to be like tomorrow night at the Royal Rumble?
I think it's going to be an interesting reaction, but I think it's going to be a match for the OGs, you know what I mean? A match for the people that know where we came from and people that have followed us for such a long time. And I also think that people don't tend to mind too much about who's a good guy, who's a bad guy when you're beating the crap out of each other. And if there's anything that happens when the Scottish and Irish collide, it's that you beat the crap out of each other.
Yeah, for sure. Now, man, you were not long ago, like you say, over in WWE NXT UK. How different is the backstage environment of Monday Night Raw as compared to what it was like over at NXT UK?
Do you know, it's so funny because sometimes at NXT UK, if things weren't quite as organised as we thought that they should have been, we'd be like, oh my goodness, things are so unorganised here, this would never happen on main roster. LOL.
So it's just as kind of chaotic, papers flying everywhere, kind of deal?
You have to be prepared for all eventualities because you just never know what's going to happen.
Do you thrive in that environment, or do you wish there was more structure?
No, I think you just have to, you have to get comfortable with it. But I think, honestly, I've been doing a lot of work, and nothing's a problem unless you see it as. You know what I mean? It's all about your acceptance of stuff and how you roll with it. And if you just, take things and you go, okay, well, it is what it is, and we're going to do what we can from where we are, then, you're always going to come out on top.
So, usually when people go from NXT to the main roster, they change a little bit, right? Obviously, you got a new name, right? Have you talked to Vince McMahon? What does he want to see out of Doudrop? When you came up, what was his marching orders for you?
So at first when we were bright, shiny, happy Doudrop, it was really funny, right? Because he wanted me to come out and dance, and I was like, he wanted me to dance, and I was like, I don't know if you looked all up on that CV, but it did not say dancer, okay? And then I was kind of so, oh, what am I doing? Oh, I don't like this. And then one day I get backstage and he goes, God damn it, I see you out there shaking your ass all afternoon. Why can't you do it out there? And I was like, you've absolutely got me over a barrel there, because see when we're rehearsing, I'm constantly just And then when he said that, he was like, I just want the people to see your personality that we get to see back here. And I was like, oh man, you have completely like stunned me with that. And I totally got what he meant. And then from that point on, that's when I started to get more comfortable with the like jumping around and dancing and being all sunshiny and happy, because I was like, yeah man, just lean in and let like your own personality come through. Yeah. And then with Evil Doudrop, as some people are calling it, which I love, I just feel like it's like the opposite side of my personality. So I think me personally, I'm either super bright and bubbly, I'm like, I'm a little brat and I'm crabby and so it's kind of nice just to let like both sides of the real me come through.
Yeah, do you enjoy getting to be evil Doudrop, or do you enjoy being good Doudrop more?
So this is the thing, I don't mind both, but it's much easier to get people to dislike you than it is to get people to like you.
Now, you've talked a lot about body positivity, obviously, and shooting down trolls and stuff. What does it mean to you to get to be the person that carries that message to young girls and things like that?
I love it, and it's hard, don't get me wrong, it's hard, and it can be like very wearing, because I think it's so much easier to put out negativity in the world than it is to put out positivity, but one thing I'm a big believer in is like if we all kind of gave up on social media and stuff, then all that would be left is like negativity, and that's no good for anybody, is it? Yeah. But for me, like one of the most important things was like being a good influence for my stepdaughter. You know, I used to want to change so many things about myself. I used to want to get like big lips and like liposuction and all this stuff, and then I thought, you know what, like if I did that, then like all of these things that I'm trying to teach her about how beautiful she is and she should love herself would just be hypocritical. Yeah. You know, so I just want to try and lead from example and like show that, hey man, you don't have to look like Barbie doll perfect to be awesome.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, last question here. You know, when you were down at WWE NXT UK, it's pretty well known that Shawn Michaels is very, very hands-on on that product. He crows about it all the time. What's it like to get to work with Shawn Michaels and learn from Shawn Michaels?
He is the best person in the world. He just has like, I'm a big believer in like auras and energies, and he just has the most wonderful energy to be around, and it really is, the NXT UK is his baby, but more than that, like he's so nurturing and encouraging to all the talent there, and you know, obviously like it's a massive thing for all of us because he's the greatest wrestler of all time. But he never once has he ever been intimidating or anything like that. Like he's just such a wholesome presence, and I think his presence helps every single person there and encourages them to develop into their best selves.
All right, well, hey, Doudrop, best of luck tomorrow night against Becky Lynch.
Thank you.
Rooting for you.
Woo!
Thank you.
Thanks, Fran.